This is NDTV, and you're watching Classics.
Hello and welcome to India's IT and BPO capital. Today we are going to bring you up close to a man who's considered a whiz kid of sorts in the BPO industry, Romi Malhotra, Managing Director of Dell International Services India. Romi has been scripting the BPO growth story in India for the last 7 years, and today he drives the Dell Dream Machine in India. We are going to begin the day today at his house in Whitefield, a leafy suburb in Bangalore, where the rich and famous now live. Good morning, Romi.
Morning, Nupur.
How are you?
Welcome.
Hi. Lovely.
Nupur, that's lovely, my wife.
Yeah, lovely.
That's my little one, Tanvi.
Okay. Hi, Tanvi.
Say hi.
Hello, Tanvi.
Simran. And that's Simran.
Hi,
My elder
Simran.
one.
Hiding behind the mug. Are you getting ready to go to school? Yeah? Okay. So, does Papa get to spend a lot of time with you in the morning before you go to school? No, he doesn't.
No.
Oh, bad Papa.
That's part of the industry, you see.
That's right, yes. This
You
is a
start late.
24/7 job.
It is
So
a
how much
24/7.
time do you actually get with these lovely children and your one lovely wife?
Well, weekends when I'm not traveling.
The one thing about this BPO industry is it's a 24/7 job, and people like Romi Malhotra do not get too much time with their family. The one thing that he does manage to do every morning is drop his children to school. So Romi, right now it doesn't feel like you're going to have such a stressful day, yeah? With
No,
all
no.
sorts of business
Not yet,
meetings.
not yet,
So
not
this is
yet.
a real chill out time with the kids, and right?
This is,
Yeah,
this is.
and it's very precious. So the family bonding over for the morning, and now it's time to get to
work.
serious business and at work with lots of
Absolutely.
meetings in place. Okay, Romi. Okay, so we are now off to the Dell premises. And Romi starts his busy day.
Well, normal day.
Where's it? Before joining Dell, Romi was the CEO of Scope International, a subsidiary of the Standard Chartered Bank. And prior to that, he was also with GE Capital, which is another major BPO. So all the experience in the BPO field in the last 7 years. Romi, outsourcing has been a hugely talked about issue, particularly in the last US elections. Are we out of that chapter now? I mean, outsourcing has come to stay. Can we sort of take that as a given?
Well, I think there was a rhetoric around outsourcing for some time. Having said that, it's part of life. And sometimes you think there was more noise than there was required, because if you look at the global market, even today, India commands less than 2% of the global outsourcing market. So it's not as if, it's kind of become very significant. It's just thanks to our friends in the press that this got a lot of attention, probably a little more than it should have. And there was kind of, maybe it went a little out of control there.
Very objectively, what would you give, Dell's operations in India? How much would you rate it, 1:10?
Tough question. I think that's a question you should be asking my customers rather than me. But
that's why I use the word objectively.
Yeah, and that would be the most objective. But I would think we would be somewhere in the 7 to 8 range. Okay. And that's not objective.
And you would open a champagne for that, 7 to 8?
No, I'll open a champagne when we are 10.
Dell opened its captive outsourcing center in Bangalore in 2001. It was such a success that it went on to open another one in Hyderabad in 2003. Later this month, in Chandigarh, it opens yet another outsourcing center. Of the total Dell employee strength of 50,000, 7,000 are from India alone. So they've all been working all night here?
Well, this is mostly the administrative staff.
Administrative, okay. So the size of the BPO industry, it's literally, the growth has been over the last 4 years. What is it at now, and what kind of growth do you see in the next, let's say, 5 years?
Well, the last published figures put the size at about $3.5 billion. And that is something that, it almost started from scratch about 4 to 5 years back.
Right.
It's grown to about $3.5 billion right now.
Right.
The BPO industry, if you look at the McKinsey report, which probably is the only published data on this, it estimates that by 2008, this industry will be about $21 billion. Okay. So there's a lot of headroom. There's a lot more to come. Clearly, the pace is scorching, and it will continue.
What are some of the hurdles still which the BPO industry is facing?
Take telecom, for instance. We still pay more than the most competitive international bandwidth costs. Let's say a big piece of what India does business with is the US. So the cost of telecoms between India and the US has come down substantially. It's come down by more than 60% in the last few years, but it still is much higher than what it should be. So as that comes down, India becomes more competitive. So that's kind of one challenge, if you may. The second thing is infrastructure. Currently BPO companies are clustered around 3 or 4 large cities, whether it is the NCR or the Gurgaon area, whether it is Bombay and Navi Mumbai, whether it is Bangalore, whether it is Pune, Hyderabad. These are some of the clusters where all these companies are coming up. The reason is twofold. One, connectivity, which means having international airports where people can come in, go out, do all of that. Right. 2 is basic infrastructure in the city, which can attract people from outside to come and work there. Right. So, these are some of the things so that's the second big challenge we have. Even these cities are now struggling. You look at Bangalore and what's happening here. Right. It's a classic example of not keeping pace with the growth. That's right. So that's the second one. A third challenge continues to be, today we just take people from colleges and train them. We spend an enormous amount of time and effort and money in training these people. Instead of doing a graduation for 3 years or 4 years that they do today, if part of what we teach them after they come out could be taught as part of the curriculum for the industry, that would mean that the quality and the availability of talent just explodes. Right. So that's going to be another thing that's kind of going to hit us probably in the coming few years, where the amount of money we need to spend on training fresh graduates is just huge. So these are 3 broad areas where, if we can get our act together, 20 billion is not a stretch.
Okay.
Hi. How are you guys doing?
Well, BPOs, of course, are full of American jargon, and this is one of them. This is the brown bag meeting, or the skip level meeting, where Romi is now going to talk to his shop floor people, and he's going to find out what are the problems that they are encountering.
People do associate it with a lot of learning. People associate it.
You guys don't believe that's an issue.
So it's something that is already
I
underway.
think we should be focused on it. Okay, basic concept for those of you who are coming here for the first time.
We've left the brown bag meeting venue now and left Romi with his employees to do a real heart-to-heart on what the challenges are before Dell.